That's not how we're going to begin each show.
We're going to get it out of our system, y'all. We promise. Just going to be a bit.
These are our new sound effects that we've found.
They are.
They are delightful.
They are wonderful.
How do you decide which to add? How can you replace them? Like add a file? Add just a sound file
it's in
there?
a book, and I think I threw that away.
I'm sure you can look online. I throw away all my instruction manuals.
You can
Not like I read them anyway.
You never did. You can find them online now anyway.
Come at me if you don't read instructions.
The problem is, y'all, he threw away the instruction manual to Poodle.
I never had one. That was the problem.
That's what he needs.
I need an instruction manual on how to handle
Lindsay.
me.
You need an instruction manual.
Oh, boy. And you know what? You need to come up with, you need to know what I need before I ask for it.
Can you read my mind?
No, you can't, because I'm fucking crazy.
You know, I don't think it's that she's crazy.
She's not crazy. She is.
She has a sabotage streak in her, like Kyle said.
She's terrified.
Exactly.
She is terrified of
being vulnerable.
And being in the present.
Yep.
And terrified of not being safe.
Yep.
She is living her life in fear. And Poodle, what 2 ways can you live your life?
You can live your life in love or in fear, as Oprah says.
There you go.
This is reality gaze. This is Summer House.
Some Summer House. Some Summer House. Summer House.
Now, this is called...
Look at me. I ran into a glass table, and it's going to leave a bruise on my leg.
Riveting. Yet another thing that I couldn't get two shits about. Y'all, this episode's called Best Frenemies. This is episode 5. Summer House, season 5, episode 5.
Yep.
Are there any announcements? I don't think so.
We just want to remind people it's still March Madness Review of
March Madness Review of Palooza.
If you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts until March 28th, we're going to be picking. I just sent Poodle one last night that made me.
It was already
so
going
good.
in my.
I might frame it for on days that I just feel bad about myself.
That's not what this whole thing is for. It's to make you feel good about yourself, though.
Oh, but it's still a night. But they leave a 5-star review, and the funniest.
Most touching / best, or one that just makes us go, things that make you go,
5-star review, and we're going to pick 5 of those for the month of March, and those people are going to get a year's worth of our
Supercast. That's our new premium content, our new premium platform, because we have Patreon, but we also have Supercast, and you get to be a super sissy.
And so we're putting it all under the umbrella of Reality Gaze Extra.
Extra.
And so, you know why?
Extra. Just look at this headlines.
Historical news is being made. Da, da, da. Extra. We're drawing the red line from into the stage.
Yeah.
A barrel. I got to sing it all now.
I can't believe you know
this. A barrel
this.
of heaps. Something to deal. The biggest little something in vaudeville. Presenting.
Dainty June.
No, presenting. Introducing.
Yeah, introducing.
That barrel of whores that fucked every football player in town, Dainty Poodle.
Let me entertain you. Let me make you smile. Don't pull over. But I can do some new tricks. I'm very versatile.
Actually, she's not. She's a bottom. And that song ends.
I'm very versatile in my 20s.
In my 20s. When I was 16 and I could hold an erection for nothing. But if you're real good, I'll make you feel good. I want your spirits to climb.
Like your dick.
Like your dick so you can fuck me.
So let me entertain you, and we'll have a really good time. Oh, yes.
And we'll have a really good time.
Fuck me.
Wow.
That's from Gypsy.
Gypsy.
That went on longer than it should have.
You know, if there was any...
Or maybe it went on just
for us. I think
time.
it went on just right. If there's any musical that I would want to inhabit a role as a man and just play almost all the female characters, it probably would be Gypsy.
I think I've already done that in my mind several times.
Although
cut Herbie. Cut the actual one male and I would play the dad. I could play the dad.
Yeah,
not Herbie.
Not Herbie.
Yeah.
And I would like to
I'd play Tulsa, but I'd also like to bang Tulsa.
Yeah. Especially Tulsa from the Bette Midler version.
Ooh, he was fine.
Whoa. That's my favorite version.
That's the only version most of us have seen. I saw it on Broadway.
On Bette Midler?
Bernadette Peters.
Oh, I've never seen it on Broadway.
She was an interesting Mama Rose.
You didn't like her, but what's his name? Not Sondheim, but the other person who wrote Gypsy.
Arthur Lawrence.
Because I think, was alive at that time, right?
Yeah.
He said that she...
That old queen was just trying to blow smoke our ass.
Well, she said that Bernadette Peters was the most kind of what he imagined Mama Rose to be.
And but historically, that's not true.
But I think that's interesting that...
Supposedly, Tyne Daly was the one. Tyne Daly and Angela Lansbury are the ones that people talk about being unbelievable.
I would love to.
This is so gay.
This is really gay. Someone's like, "Wait, what are we talking about? Summer House?"
I didn't know I was listening to gayest pod ever.
If Paige was here, she would say, "You just said a bunch of names of people I don't know."
It's a good page.
I bet actually she sees theater, honestly. She lives in New York.
I think Paige is still my favorite person to watch behave in Summer House.
Give me the Paige show. Yep. I'm here for it. So y'all
this is Best Frenemies. Best Frenemies. Basically we're still kind of reeling. You guys, and this is an interesting, and I want to get you guys info, maybe in our Sissy Squad, or let us know on socials. Has this show handled such a dark topic before? I just don't think this show and the premise of this show, how frothy it is, frothy like a lover boy,
like an uncut dick.
Yeah,
ready.
I don't think the premise. It can't hold it together. The show can't hold itself together to do something that's so heavy. That's why
I don't think it had planned to do that.
No,
obviously,
but to edit this show together felt to me
and
both,
to make it a main plot line,
both a fool's errand and it's not that I don't think it should have been included. It's just where the things that it was included with, and I don't know. Yes, you obviously have to include Lindsay's birthday. Because that's the day his brother passed.
But I felt like the Carl's but maybe a lot of people got a lot from it.
That's what I'm going to say. Maybe, but I just don't know.
I thought it would have been the first 5 minutes and Carl would leave.
Yeah, me too. And I don't know if the show has enough gravitas, the premise of the show, to handle it. Because everything after that felt like, this feels weird.
It's kind of like Hannah said. I woke up today prepared to fight, and now I'm like, none of that fucking matters. And then she decided she was okay.
But no, it's like what the show has been set up to be will collapse under something as crushing like this. And, it kind of reminds me of when late night comedy shows were after 9/11. What do you talk about?
Yeah.
I'm not comparing, obviously, the death of Carl's brother to 9/11, but the similar idea of premises for the show that were always light. It's all about some stupid fight, and especially this season when there's nothing to do but obsess over stupid fights and weird little dynamics. Then something like that happens, and then it turns a magnifying glass on how even stupider these arguments are. So honestly, after Carl left, it was hard for me to pay attention. I was like, had whiplash.
I can see that, yeah.
And like I say, I don't know how I would have handled this because the editor, you have to add it. I do think it went on a little bit too long. Like every housemate had to go up to Carl and say and participate in mourning with him, which, yes, that would happen normally, but damn, it felt like either, to me, it's almost like we do the whole episode for it. So it gives Carl one whole episode where we see how much that had to go. Like the cameras follow him to the funeral.
Yeah.
That's the whole episode. And then it can be after. I don't think these storylines can coexist in the same episode.
Well, they did.
I know, and it was like dissonance for me. I know. Look at me. I'm like, I don't really approve of the production, how it was done.
Y'all, I feel like I'm in
Queen's always got a problem.
A stuffy living room, like a student who's been asked to go to a professor's house with 10 other, and we just listen to him go on.
Can we talk about Henry James, please? But
no, I agree with you.
It just these tones, even if it's a reality show, you can't go back. I just kind of felt myself tuning out.
I think this show is reality shows do that, but this show's not the real world.
No, that's exactly what I wrote. This is not the real world.
It's Summer House,
right? So
even the name is going to tell you it's fun and frivolity.
Yeah,
and that's not.
I think this was not that. I don't think they shouldn't have shown Carl, and I cried. I actually cried. Watching not because of Carl, watching his housemates who care about him crying and getting upset.
Well, what I thought was interesting just was I think it's so telling how if you don't know someone in your family that is struggling with addiction, you just probably don't know everybody in your family well.
Totally agree.
And at the through line of this, of the other housemates that had experienced this in their own,
and that was great. That was the first 25 minutes of the episode.
It was weird how it switched. It was weird.
And that's what I say, tonally. And I don't know if this is a winnable thing. The only way I thought to do it is show him. I don't know how comfortable his family would be being filmed for something like that.
Not.
But I don't know. I just felt like I think maybe the editors and the producers are kind of at a real impasse here.
I mean,
they only have 14 episodes?
Yeah, they're already like they've got to shoot what they've got to shoot in this house.
Yeah. I just think, boy,
and they did the best they could, but it was weird.
So I don't want to belabor it too much.
But no,
everyone is trying to kind of help him. Basically, we find a little bit of history. We find out from last week, we found his brother. He gets a call. His brother has passed. Everyone's very upset for him. Everyone's crying. And we found out he's been sober for a year. Yeah. And he actually relapsed last month, and people really didn't know a lot about it.
That is I don't know how much, but that happens a lot because what happens is, from my limited understanding, just from people will get sober, and then they will stop using the drugs, and then when they relapse, they often will use the drugs, the amount of drugs that they used to before.
Yeah, and they don't have a
built-in tolerance
for it,
and it
makes sense.
Kills them. So that honestly happens a lot, and it's heartbreaking because when somebody's had a year of sobriety, you're thinking
you're only on the up and up
on that long. Like his mother probably just started to settle in and like, okay, my boy's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with addiction, y'all. It truly is a day-by-day thing. You don't have to subscribe to AA, but you can have a year. You can have 10 years in relapse. You just never fucking know.
Well, I have a first cousin who was sober. She was doing drugs. Then she was sober for a year. We were so excited. We saw her at Christmas, and she was great. Then we saw her next time. She was thin, and of course, it was like, oh, all right. And then she got sober again, and then she went to jail. So yeah, it's just kind of like for a while. There were certain members, especially in my dad's family, who were just they were almost done because they could, every time they would engage, they would feel good, and they just had to get off the roller coaster. For a while.
I've said it before. That's why I couldn't realize I could not do drug counseling.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I got out of it, because I just couldn't deal with
Couldn't take the up and down the ride. That was
It's a lot.
No, I hear you.
It's a lot. So, Kyle, I will say, Kyle said one of the best things to Carl that I thought for y'all watching, that you're like, what would I say to my friend or something? I love that Kyle said you did everything you could.
Yeah, that's what people need to hear.
It's very important to reassure people that they couldn't have done anymore. Although Jake probably would have said to me, when's the last time you called him?
I would not have.
I wouldn't.
You sure? I would have jumped in and like, well.
You didn't really go see him for a long time. No, but says, and Carl also, which is kind of heartbreaking, Carl mentions this later, that his brother was talking about him. They hadn't really reconciled.
That's when I actually cried.
That was very sad.
Yeah.
It was very sad, the what if.
I was like on the verge of tears the whole time, and I don't know what happened. Seeing these people be upset about their friend made me very emotional the whole time.
Ironically, who made me a little emotional was because Lindsay's having the worst birthday ever. I mean, you feel for her.
Yes,
because
you do. But her birthday anniversary is the day that Carl's brother dies.
That's horrible for her. And I actually, it's going to change later on, but I actually was impressed and was touched how she kind of just wasn't even in her own birthday.
Yeah.
Y'all, this is Lindsay, someone who's very much about Lindsay.
Yeah.
Was just like, I'm just not into
She lives in Lindsay world. However, that didn't really stop by the end of the night. We definitely got past that. But first class ticket back to Lindsay world. Quick.
Yeah.
Choo choo.
What sandwiches have you made for me?
What? I mean,
so I think
I'm sorry. As we talk, you know what? We didn't talk about this. Let's talk about all of the Carl stuff now, and then just kind of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
That's actually where I was going. So he, a lot of the other cast is talking about their connections, like Danielle's father passed from addiction issues. Luke has his father and his family. So, and I'm sure the other cast members probably did as well. The most interesting thing was Ciara going to Carl and saying, this sucks, and I barely know you, but I've seen a lot of death, and it's hard.
Yeah.
And she said, I'm trying to think what she said to him.
She
said, he's safe. He is safe. And
Kyle and Ciara said the best things to him.
Right. He's safe, and he'll give you
because Ciara
he'll give you signs.
She's a Christian.
Yeah.
And so, and her saying like he's watching you, he'll give you signs. I thought that was a beautiful thing to say.
And it's ironic, and sometimes this is true with grief. The people who don't know you best sometimes are the people who can say the best things to you. It's kind of like what I have with my clients. A lot of times they have people in their lives, but they can tell me, and they do, the most intimate details because they know me, but I'm not necessarily their friend. No. But I can definitely...
and that's a perfect explanation of why talking to a therapist often is a great thing, y'all.
Exactly. Someone who has
life coach.
who has no agenda for them.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, Ciara was great. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
I mean, basically everybody else was just kind of like,
Yeah.
How can we support you? I feel like sometimes when people say, how can we support you? That's a beautiful thing to say, but then at the same time...
It's also asking a lot of the person who's
like,
just experienced something.
Sometimes you don't really ask them that. You just need to be there. Mm-hmm. You just need to sit with them.
Right.
Because, y'all, we don't in this society especially. That's why I love things like in the Jewish tradition of like Shiva. You sit for like a week and like you sit on the floor.
Mourning is uncomfortable for people. Yeah.
We don't sit in each other's grief. And I think that's really what somebody who's in this situation, if you have someone that's going, they just want someone that's going to sit in their grief with them and not try to talk them out of grief, not try to make them feel better. Mm-hmm. Just sit in it. Let them cry.
Yep.
Let them tell the stories. Just sit in it.
Yeah. Oftentimes, I think we've talked about this on the podcast before, when, especially in evangelical circles, sometimes you'll hear, well, he's with Jesus now, so we should be grateful, and or something like that. That don't negate your own loss.
Yeah.
Take on your loss.
Yes.
So if someone passes that is very special to you, and you have someone saying it's best just to move on, why get depressed about things? You need that to process. You need that to move on. Otherwise, you'll never get past it. Yeah.
Agree.
I remember someone saying to my mother when my grandmother died, in literally the receiving line, and we were all there, and she said, "Well, we're going to miss her. She's in a much better place now, or something like that, and she's not suffering anymore." And my mother just snapped and said, "That doesn't make me feel good at all." It was so even y'all mother poodle went, "Caw."
Y'all really are the same person.
I would probably say something like that to someone if they said that about my mother. It's just, trust me, y'all, saying they're in a better place and we should be, or something like we should be rejoicing today or something like that, that's not what someone needs to hear, even if they smile. You need to take, it's got to be your process. That's like lizard brain shit, y'all. You can't deny yourself from grieving. That's fundamental human stuff. Doesn't matter what religion you are. So remember that when you're in the receiving line.
You can talk about people walking on streets of gold and all. That's great, and that's great to talk about.
Maybe after,
but give it a little, it a little time to experience the acceptance.
Not at the funeral.
Yeah,
yeah.
But that's when a lot of people But in another case too, for some people that's also not. Everybody grieves their own way, and that's just not helpful for us.
Yeah.
I have been to funerals where people in the receiving line, the only thing that makes them feel better is thinking about like their son walking with Christ.
Yeah, I get it, but that's also a little bit of magical thinking, because the dirty stuff's going to come back. It's going to hit you.
Well,
now I have been to funerals,
but it's not magical thinking to them.
No, I agree, but I'm saying if you don't get it out, it will eat you alive.
Yep. Oh, I agree. I agree.
That's what I'm talking about, magical thinking.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But I have been to funerals where people tell jokes, and that's a different kind of celebrating.
Best funeral I went to was Patty Johnstone, but I don't think you were at UNT yet. But she's a voice teacher who had died, and people just stood up, and we were there for like
told stories.
An hour, and different people just told stories about Patty, and I learned a lot more about her than I knew. Yeah. And I was there basically for my friends, and then when I left, I felt like I like had a part of her to think about.
You shared in her memory, and like in the Jewish tradition of may their memory be a blessing. Shahayanu.
I wonder what Poodle's funeral will be like. Do you think can't you just see me off?
I'm gonna curate it down to the letter.
Would anyone like to speak?
Oh, I don't think you'll be around.
Yeah, Poodle thinks he's living longer than me, probably. It's all the alcohol. He's just petrified.
It pickles me.
Pickles. But I
I
can
think
imagine.
or I'll cut you out of my life at that point.
That's true. Who would like to speak first? Well, my name is Armando, and I fucked Poodle in 2011, and I remember he put his hands over my face and said, "Don't look at me, don't look at me." And to this day, I don't like looking at people when I'm pummeling them, and God, I'm going to miss him.
Don't look me in the eye.
Yeah, my name is Marlon, and I fucked Poodle in 2002, and then in 2008 he forgot he fucked me before, so I fucked him then, and
That's actually happened. I'm not proud of it. That's happened. I've completely forgotten people. It's sad, actually.
and then y'all cut to...
That's why you know what? That's why everything, I now document everything on my hookup apps.
Exactly. And
you got to document.
You document, and then cut to 5 hours later. Yeah, my name's Rick. I was the last person to fuck Poodle. And as everybody knows, that's why we're here.
He said, I'm, and then said no more. Y'all, that's the way to go out. That's the way you go out.
It kind of is true.
With a 10-inch dick ramming ya.
I think I just perfectly described your funeral. And then Rick will finish, and then we all will hear the organ, and then just as
No, I will not have that played. No, we'll do like a Carnival conga line. No, my funeral has to be joyful. Has to be.
I think it will be.
It has to be. It has to be people getting together, because I would never want that.
No,
I did for my coma party when they wanted to do like a tribute for me. Can I come back? I did a roast. So people roasted me, and I loved it.
it was fun.
And some people said things that made me cry.
Elise made you sob.
I sobbed. I need to call her about something.
Anyway, Poodle's going through his our show.
Well, you already talked about the bruise on
No,
your leg. Let's
that's
get
true.
into this episode.
So
we're really going off of it.
That's kind of enough of Carl. Let's kind
Yeah.
of. He ends up leaving because he wants to go back with his mom. So let's.
Which I was like, why are you still there?
One thing, again, it wasn't There wasn't the right show, but it does. We don't see a lot of this on television of how people behave in this immediate grief.
I totally agree,
and it's good to see. I think,
and I totally agree with
But
you.
it's wrong
It's
show.
just the tone
It's the wrong
right
show.
after it.
I agree.
It's like then we're supposed to be involved in this like stupid palace intrigue with these people.
I get it.
It made me sad, actually.
Meanwhile, Hannah and Luke totally still are flirting with one another, and
Yeah.
it's annoying. And
I think that's how he relates to women.
I guess, but they're playing tennis, and you can even Hannah's like, I don't know if we can be just friends, but that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I'll be honest, the last 3 episodes, I'm like, honey, stay in your lane. Maybe kind of, I don't know. It's
Hannah's
a little
going through something.
I think she's acting for the cameras. I feel like a lot of this is bigger, and I think
she's engaged now.
yeah,
and
she's engaged now. It's official. Yeah,
and she's been dating her fiance for 8 months, right?
which means she was dating them while
were they for sure filming, or is
I
it
think
right
while
after?
they were filming. I think that she met him right before they started filming. So I'm sure they were talking.
But it wasn't like maybe
I don't
new.
know. I know he did visit the house. He was allowed.
I think he is coming because they're
I
having
don't know.
an episode.
I don't know if we're going to see him.
Well,
so then there's really something interesting. Hannah and Luke are talking about Ciara, and I'm like, well, you've gone very far now. And Kyle is still. We're reeling after Glassgate
when Amanda threw a
plastic glass
at Hannah.
And the fact that we have to talk about this like it's a huge fucking deal makes me want to ram my head against the wall when someone's brother just died of a drug overdose. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm sure the producers are telling them like they're getting paid to do this. This is their job.
I'm aware. I'm saying as an observer,
I put it more on the producers and the editors rather than the castmates because what are they supposed to do?
I'm not putting it on the cast members.
I'm more upset that their stove and their oven still don't work.
Right?
What the fuck?
You gotta call your landlord for that.
This is episode 5. Go to Best Buy or Sears and get a new fucking stove.
Agreed.
I don't understand it.
100%.
The air is on y'all. He's Katy Perry today. He's hot and he's cold.
I am hot and cold. I am yes and I'm no. I am in or I'm out.
He can't get comfortable.
I am both wrong
or
and right.
Poodle says comfortable.
Comfortable. What do you say?
Comfort. What do I say?
I say comfortable.
Comfortable.
Most people say comfortable. 3 syllables.
I say comfortable.
Or I sometimes say I can't get comfortable, but I do say comfortable. Oh God, I'm so preening.
I wonder how's the way you're supposed to say it, or can you do either one?
I don't know. I think comfortable. I think it's either one. Who cares?
That's true. Who cares?
No one gives a shit.
No one gives a shit.
So Ciara Luke is actually calling the florist to order lilies. For lilies. So he's ordering lilies for Ciara, and he also, because it's Lindsay's birthday, he gets her flowers. Now, if you're going to buy 2 women in one house flowers and say fuck you to the other 5 or the other 3,
maybe the one you just made up with, maybe send her like a I'm sorry flowers.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. So sorry.
This was so stupid.
It was weird. Just send flowers to
I also
Ciara.
have to say, don't send lilies unless they're someone's favorite. Maybe that's her favorite flower. To me, lilies means someone's dead.
Really?
And someone is dead.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess it is. Oh, I know nothing about flowers.
Which is surprising. Because it's definitely in the homosexual arts.
It's true, but I don't.
Well, you know that, like, and also, it's like carnations. Carnations, don't ever send anyone carnations. They're awful.
Carnations?
Well, you do know that. Yeah.
Who would do that?
And roses,
maybe like sending
roses
mums.
Are something like love or at least amorousness. But there's so many flowers out there, you guys, you can send. Lilies just, ugh.
Unless you're in a small town, there's not a lot to pick from.
Yeah, that's true. Ardmore probably, well, we only got lilies left. It's just good enough for Mama Mar.
I don't know if they have lilies. They definitely have yellow roses. That's what Mama Mar likes.
So basically, Lindsay's Aunt Rhonda must be a thing. I haven't watched it, but because her mom, she doesn't have Lindsay's mom left her really young. That was one previous episode.
So Aunt Rhonda calls her and basically is like, ooh, and Lindsay's answering her phone. She's like, ooh, what are you doing for your birthday, Lindsay? She's like, well, I don't know yet. Steven's actually just now here telling me, ooh, I want to know what it is.
Yeah.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
So she's like, she's expecting a grand gesture, y'all. This is the Anna birthday or birthdiversary, as we called it.
Where is it? Because I want to say, oh man, Paige said it so well where she basically said, this is jumping forward a little bit, she basically said, Steven is a fucking event planner, and if he doesn't hospitality, and if he doesn't know that his girlfriend wants to be treated to the nines on his birthday, then he's going to have a rough fucking night.
And he does. He do. So she was talking to Danielle a while back. She's like, during COVID, she's expecting a grand gesture. And I've just got to say, because they really can't leave, what does she expect? Does she expect maybe skywriting? Or
I don't know.
Or the Harlem Boys Choir to sing her in masks.
I think she expects like a big event and involving all the other house guests, and think about what they do for Kyle's birthday.
That was adorable, but that was the brainchild of Amanda, and Amanda is creative like that.
And what Lindsay's going to get upset about later is that y'all,
men are rarely creative like that.
Lindsay is
straight men, especially.
Lindsay is not subtle. She has given Steven clues. She has given him clues.
Yeah, I agree with you. At the same time, I've just got to say that Lindsay definitely sabotaged this, and Steven knew what I think was going to happen. Or maybe he didn't.
Maybe he did. So let's just kind of finish their arc then, since we're talking about that, and then we're going more about characters and characters instead of plot point by plot point today.
Sorry.
But you know what? That reminds me.
We take a commercial.
We're going to take a commercial. We'll be right back. So they're at dinner, y'all. This is a night. It's a beautiful night. And she walks out and they call it, what the fuck is this shit? Okay. I am not good at setting the table.
Yeah.
I'm horrible at it.
It actually...
This was gross.
It was sad. It was not a good tablescape, as Ina Garten said. No, says tablescapes? Does Sandra Lee say tablescape?
I think she does.
Y'all, you need to watch some old Sandra Lee videos, because they cuckoo.
Cuckoo. But I've heard that she loves her gays.
Oh, I'm sure. There's a lot of things with her just pouring vodka into things. There's something to it.
She does not how to cook.
Y'all look up when she made a Kwanzaa cake. It is one of the biggest monstrosities that you'll ever see. Yeah.
She also, the lighting on that show.
It's white.
But
so white.
They always do it a theme, so it's all like monochromatic.
Yeah, it's all blown out.
So blown out. It's like RuPaul Drag Race lighting. Oh.
She is the RuPaul of the cooking of the Food Network.
She is. I'm sure gay men love her.
They do, I'm sure. She does like to drink.
Okay.
You know who she used to be married to?
Who?
Cuomo.
Oh, she did?
Mm-hmm. Or maybe she was his girlfriend. I'm not sure.
He's having a...
He's not having... It's not having not a great moment. He's having a terrible moment.
A terrible moment.
Yeah. I think they found out some really even worse stuff about nursing home reporting. So, I don't know. I'm not here to break your news.
Yeah. Y'all don't... we are saying don't pull over, though, because I can hear him.
Yeah.
So, I was imagining, y'all, he is involving practically, except for Carl and Kyle, everyone in this fucking house is helping him plan this birthday thing for Lindsay. So I'm imagining like something big. Because how many fucking scenes do we see of Danny helping Steven, and then Ciara helping Steven, and then a man. And I was like, oh, wow, this is going to be some big thing. And when we walk out and see just this patio table with a fucking shitty tablecloth on it, the food's not even in platters. It's in fucking plastic.
It's in plastic.
Y'all, this is the saddest thing for a birthday.
Now, I keep giving him a break because it was COVID. But look what, and I think it's just Steven is not very resourceful.
Yes.
He's just not.
This is already
They're not a match, you guys. I don't know if anybody's noticed that.
Shocker.
They are not a match. She needs someone who fucking worships her and adores her. And there's that guy out there, I'm sure. There's some guys out there who will do that for her.
She also, y'all, this show was filmed, though, in the summer.
Yeah.
And this is, by now, businesses had already adapted to, like, do things for, like, even if, like, those sign companies that will come and put, like, happy birthday in your yard, like, that was already starting to happen.
I think, though, he thought he was going to get her with a kind of thing that was a more sentimental, because this was the restaurant they went to when he asked her to be
not
his...
Lindsay.
I agree. That is him.
And that it's like, I think that's what Danny or Paige is saying. He has y'all, he hasn't been listening to Lindsay.
No, he hasn't.
I'll tell you, you know what they're good at? Fucking. And that's it. That's where they connect. I
agree.
To be crude, but I think that's where they connect.
What do you... I think So he does get her. What do you think of her dress?
It's her. And I wouldn't say this on another woman. It's just because I know Lindsay. Her dress is saying, "Look at me, I'm special,"
and she keeps talking about it. If she
That's why I
just
said
wore
that.
it,
If she just wore it, but the dress is wearing.
She has
the
to
dress
keep
is
talking about it.
It's wearing her.
And if she's so worried, there's got to be some like double-sided tape there to put on your boobies. If she's so worried about it.
And why worry? You've got great boobs.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in the house would care.
Nobody gives a fuck.
It's just like, and to me, the proportions weren't right. Like you could see the part of the boobs that was more suggestive, but then at one point you could kind of see it, and it was like you have to kind of crane your neck to see the rest of the boob.
I thought the dress was fine. I just thought it wore her.
I think she was trying to make a big statement.
And and bless his heart, because someone who's wearing a dress like that doesn't want to fucking walk out on a patio and eat fucking packaged food from a plastic
fish
cup.
And chips, no less.
Oh.
Fish and chips, no less.
Fish and fucking chips.
Which was probably cold at that point.
Oh, y'all, those French fries tasted horrible.
I know. That made me sad, actually. To have to eat cold French fries is a crime.
Because they don't have an oven to heat it up.
So, shall we go ahead and get into
Yeah, because they walk out to dinner and Lindsay is already like, what the fuck?
Right. Before we do this, I want to talk about one thing. I don't know if anybody saw this because you were probably fast forwarding through the commercials. There was a commercial for Paragard birth control, and a woman was singing, Paragard, the one and only birth control I've needed my real life.
Really?
It was a full-on musical number with people dancing. And I'm like, great, normalize birth control. It was just so weird because usually birth control is handled so earnestly.
Yes.
I was dying, and they were like, Paragard, and they all spelled out the word Paragard.
Really?
I think it's an IUD. They're like, this is the birth control I needed, and nothing that I want, and everything I wanted is Paragard. It's like an ad that we would do for Paragard.
Wow, it is an IUD.
Yeah, I think it's an IUD. But it was just, y'all, you can Google the Paragard commercial. This girl's living her best life. She's so excited about it.
Oh, my God.
It felt like a musical. No hormones. An ingredient I can pronounce. Ingredient I can pronounce.
Control that works differently. Finally. Paragard is a 100% hormone-free IUD that protects pregnancy for up to 10 years using one simple active ingredient, copper, instead of hormones. Don't use if you have a pelvic
Keep
infection,
going. This is so
certain
good.
cancers, a copper allergy,
I love how the
Wilson's
music is
disease,
continuing
or
behind.
period, have abdominal pain,
I like
or
that she's
comes out, tell your
dancing
health
and like bouncing with the IUD in her hand.
Pregnancy is rare, but can be
I'm like,
life-threatening
normalize
because
it,
of fertility
yes.
or loss of pregnancy. At first, periods may become heavier
And now
and
she's
longer
just
with spotting
dancing
in
as
between.
as
It
we're
won't
hearing
protect
about
against
loss
HIV
of
or
hair.
STDs.
In a birth control. I can just live my life just like before.
Ask your healthcare provider.
Wow. No, but you remembered the product.
I did.
If someone says, hey, Jake, do you know a good IUD?
Have you tried Paragard?
Maybe they should sponsor the show.
I would totally do a commercial for
we would sing their
Paragard.
jingle at the end.
Paragard.
And people would say, I tried this IUD and I did not get pregnant.
And nothing happened.
There you go.
I'm not making fun of birth control. I've just never seen a full musical number with dancing.
I kind of appreciate it, although the dancing was not great.
No, and the lyrics weren't either.
No. Wow.
Shit, I'm sorry. I just needed to bring that up.
No, that's fine. All right, can we talk about the dinner now?
They may sue us.
They may. So the dinner, you know what?
Uh-oh.
I think you inspired me.
Okay.
I think instead of us just fully talking about the dinner, I think this will be better said in something we like to call reality gaze theater.
Good. You can do it when you do harmonies. That's exactly right.
Great.
Yay.
Great. The melody was a little long. So, all right. Okay, so, y'all, Poodle, hold on, I got to get situated. Poodle's going to be playing the role of his award-winning role he's played before of, where's my sandwich?
How many sandwiches have you made for me?
It kind of would have been apropos if he had made her dinner and made her a sandwich.
Oh my! He should totally, as like a troll, send her like a sub sandwich in the mail.
He should.
Oh my God!
He should.
So
Poodle's gonna be playing the role of Lindsay. I'll be playing the role of Steven. And see.
Oh,
so,
it's so nice.
You like it, babe?
Yeah,
really,
it's nice.
You want to play today? Oh, dude, would you like a glass of wine? I've got some Kate Crawford.
Yeah,
It's real.
Kate Crawford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Great.
So
Nice.
I just want to, I adore you, and I want to make an effort and try to adore you.
Yeah.
And nothing says that like fish and chips and cold French fries.
Yeah. Looks delicious.
Do you appreciate this dinner?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. Yeah.
You like it?
It's
It's like, I want you to be happy. And it seems like you're not happy. Are you?
I'm happy.
Are you not happy?
I'm happy.
Why's your voice going up like that?
I'm happy.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, babe. You look gorgeous.
What does this date timeline mean to you? What does this dinner mean to you?
Huh?
I mean,
Am I not?
I guess. I mean, it's fish and chips, Stephen.
Wait, am I not getting laid now?
It's just that I have higher expectations than just going through the motions.
Wait, you wanted to be like on a platform for dinner?
I
Like
mean-
you wanted to be higher up?
That'd be nice.
Like a view?
I would need a view.
What do you mean?
I would prefer if I had a flyover from an F-16.
Wait, so
The Blue Angels.
So you wanted dinner on a plane when you said higher expectations?
I would prefer. I would prefer anything.
I didn't know
You're
you
not
were
understanding,
I didn't know-
Stephen.
What am I not understanding?
I'm telling
tried
you
to-
everything. I told you everything. You know what? I'm
You're
now.
not- I'm romantic. I'm being romantic. This is me being romantic.
So it's my fault.
What?
It's all
What?
my fault. It's all my fault.
No,
So,
no,
so I'm
I
not allowed to
just-
speak. I'm not
no,
allowed to speak.
no,
So I'm
I
not
just-
allowed to speak now.
What happened? I don't know what's happening.
I'm gonna ruin you.
Wait. So we're not gonna have sex?
And scene. Y'all, this was uncomfortable from minute one.
It was.
She was trying to figure out. She's like, "Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch."
She was really trying to say, and she just couldn't hold it in.
She went, but the first but.
Do you think she was right for saying something, or do you think it was?
This is
Not
hard.
appropriate.
This is hard because you want to validate someone for their experience, especially at the dinner. And maybe you let it happen and then collect your thoughts and bring it up to them the next day.
Yes, I agree
Yeah.
with that. And
I don't think that's Lindsay, though.
I think Lindsay, and think about the theme of what they've been fighting about while they're all there.
Yeah.
So I can see why this. I think
this is him trying to make an effort, I think.
Danny said it best when Danny said this night.
Danielle.
Danielle.
Okay.
When Danielle said this night is the Hail Mary for their relationship.
It is.
And neither of them knew that, but it
Right.
was. And Stevens was totally blindsided. And she says, Danielle says, Lindsay finally learned what all of us have known. They're not right for one another.
They're not. And I'm
It's not
sure
what you
he's a
needed.
nice enough guy. They're not a match.
They're not a match. And
Yeah.
she even goes and cries to Steven or to Danielle, and she's like, Now, Lindsay is very
I
dramatic.
told him everything he needed to know.
Does it ever matter how I feel and what I need? And I'm like, Lindsay, I think
it always matters.
It always matters. Just ask everybody in the house.
And I must say though, what you see is what you get with her. She's not being like I just like little things.
She's not passive aggressive.
No.
She's not two-faced.
No.
You know exactly who she is. And if you don't get that,
you know what she needs? She needs a rich guy in probably his late 40s, but still hot, because she's going to need that. Who can bang her? Who's got enough money?
Kids.
Yeah, who still wants to have kids. That's what she needs. I don't know. I think she feels like she has to compete with women who are younger than she is.
Oh, for
so
sure.
that's
She's
going to
very
be.
competitive.
I think that's going to make it harder to date older guys. But, you know.
It's not going to get better because Steven doesn't handle it. And y'all, I don't know if he just leaves.
He just calls an Uber, y'all, and pieces out.
And I don't know if she knows that he left.
No, I don't think so either.
And y'all.
It's going to get really ugly.
It's going to get really ugly.
Speaking
of really ugly.
How Amanda's argument.
Let's talk about Hannah and Amanda.
Y'all, we watched probably... They may be okay. This is not. Maybe it's a little spoilery, but when we interviewed Hannah and Paige, they seem to be on good terms with Amanda now.
Yes.
So it seems like things that were repaired.
It does not seem like they like Kyle, or especially Hannah, and I think that
no.
I think Amanda says it's the next, but I think a lot of this has nothing to do with Amanda. I think it is Hannah wants to take Kyle down,
and Amanda, because Amanda, this is the man she has chosen. That in a way, every time they criticize him and put him down, that is a reflection on her,
yes.
Amanda. And I actually completely understand. Hannah took it too far in saying that about Amanda, about that kind of.
It's like Paige said, she's taking no responsibility for this.
Now, the fact that she's taking no responsibility about what she said, and she should have apologized to Amanda right away. But I think the idea of her throwing the glass and then them jumping all over Hannah's very defensive.
Hannah's very sensitive.
Yeah, and so as soon as she shut down and she's going to be all emotion, she can't negotiate at all.
At all. Because when Amanda goes in there, Hannah ends up screaming later saying, she never apologized to me. That's not true. Amanda did apologize for throwing the glass. Mm-hmm. She said, I'm sorry. And then that's kind of what started everything is she apologized for that. And Hannah was like, yeah, that was really crazy.
Yeah.
And then Amanda's kind of waiting for Hannah to apologize.
Right.
And it's almost like, I feel like, I kind of went through this a little bit, like whenever I realized I'd been overgiving and overgiving and overgiving to kind of balance the pendulum, I swung over to where if people are really like, hey, Matt, could you pass me the salt? And I'd be like, do it your fucking self!
You're welcome.
But I'm just saying...
I helped you with that.
You did. And then till it backfired you, and then I didn't do shit for you either.
That wasn't helpful.
I wouldn't fold your clothes. But you know how the pendulum I feel like Hannah's having that moment of she's felt taken advantage of by people, and all of this has come up. So
you
now
mean Amanda?
No.
Or Hannah. Okay.
Hannah's felt like she's been taken advantage of by people, and now it's swung the other way with Luke. And with this,
right.
She's like, I'm not going to be stepped on anymore.
Yeah.
And
that's a good point.
I think Amanda's getting caught in that.
I think the other thing they're talking about, she even says, I'm over this friendship when they're fighting.
Like, this was really...
Yeah.
I feel like that was taking it too extreme.
I think it felt to me like this was a little bit too for the cameras.
Possibly.
It felt a little... Hannah was less emotional at this point. So it felt like it was kind of like invented.
I mean, maybe Amanda though seemed
She
nothing but
lost it.
She seemed nothing but emotion, and even Paige is like, I don't want to take sides.
And Paige says, "No, don't say that." And that's the first time I've ever heard Paige say anything about Hannah.
Anything that she said, Hannah. She even said to
Hannah.
she was like, Hannah, calm down. Yeah,
yeah.
She even said, Hannah's gonna kill me, but I'm kind of Team Amanda on this one.
And she said, "Let's stop." Amanda says, "Let's stop being friends." And then Amanda says, "Everyone has so much shit against you. I'm your only defender." This is also Amanda's issue of having to go to bat for everyone.
I think past things are coming up.
Yeah,
that's a
and
good
also,
point.
and Amanda brought up that she did not. She's like, and it sounds so high school, but you didn't tell me you'd made up with Luke.
That does sound, but
that's a big deal for Amanda.
But like I've said, I'm Amanda. I was the one that would have taken up. I would have done that. So, but Amanda has to realize Hannah never asked Amanda to take up for her.
Yeah,
Amanda just stepped into that role. So Hannah doesn't have to apologize. For
Hannah's glad to let her do that, though.
Yeah.
And then she screams, "Get out of my room!" That's not good. That was the bridge too far for me. And so I don't know how this is going to work. But the only other thing that happened is when Luke and Ciara...
I was literally about to say, and y'all, Ciara dropped Luke like a bag of hot potatoes, and it was glorious.
Thank God. I wanted to get up and cheer for her.
I did too.
I decided that I revile Luke more than almost any other man on any other reality show. He's just... You can see his everything, all his actions are so transparent and transactional to get with a girl, and he's trying to play the sensitive guy card. Like I think, as I said on Twitter, no fruitful conversations can be had with men wearing fedoras.
He puts that fedora on again, thinking he's going to get to Ciara, and she's like, "Nope."
You're gonna get lines. I think I said also, a guy wearing a fedora is either going to try to bang you, or he's going to invite you to come see his band and then bang you.
Or sell you a cologne because he's broke.
True. Or it's something off his jewelry line.
Yeah.
Hockey player / jewelry maker. So basically says to Ciara, he gives her those flowers. He says, "Yeah, I just don't know how you feel about like us kind of like, getting together." And it's so cheesy. And she's like, "Yeah, I don't think I think I want to continue being friends."
I'm
it's
good.
Like, oh, okay.
Because...
And I guarantee you, he's rarely been broken up with by girls.
He's rarely been broken up with. So
this killed him.
It killed him.
And he even said earlier, growing up, I never had any problems getting girls. So I hate this guy. I would hate fuck him.
I was going to say, but you would let him fuck you.
You know what? I would think about it.
Really?
Okay. Right now, I wouldn't.
Close your eyes.
I don't want to
close your eyes. Now imagine you're in a bar. He's wearing that fedora. He buys like a.
Do I know what he's like? Do I know what he's like already?
Yeah.
Ugh.
You're in a bar. He buys like a whiskey for himself. Buys you like a gin and tonic or a vodka tonic. You're sitting there talking, and then he does smell good, and then his leg kind of touches your leg.
This is not fair.
He puts his hand just kind of right on the top of your inner thigh, and just kind of starts to rub a little bit.
I'd blow him in the bathroom.
Okay.
In a second.
There we are.
Probably then get an Uber and then start actually having sex in the Uber.
Yeah.
All while looking at the driver in the eye. who's like in the rearview mirror. I'm like, "Yeah, look what I'm doing in the back of your car. Yes, I'm doing it."
Y'all, that's the show. That's the
we
show,
leave you with that image of me making eye contact with my Uber driver while Luke is fucking me.
Y'all, that's Reality Gaze. You can listen to our other shows at realitygazepodcast.com.
I think I need to talk to someone.
I think you do too. You can find us on Cameo. You can get a cameo from Jake and I right now. You can also get us on Twitter and Instagram. Instagram's Reality Gaze
And I'm just nodding my head like this when I'm looking at him.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, look at me. I'm getting in the back of your car.
Twitter.
You're going to have to clean this too.
You can find us at Reality Gaze Pod. Y'all, that's the show.
What was the sign off for this?
We don't have one for this, so summer's here, we're queer, and we'll see you later.
Fuck off.